All right, so improving the system through reorienting the components of the system that are already there. A fuel cell is basically a system that takes hydrogen and oxygen and passes it through a membrane, which, when combining the oxygen and hydrogen, it creates electricity, and the same in reverse. Let's reorient, change the orientation of that system. Okay, so there are pipelines of some sort that bring water to the system, to the fuel cell, to separate into hydrogen and oxygen, which leave in pipelines of some sort, right? So, we understand that there is a hydrogen pipeline. We understand that there is a membrane of the fuel cell. And we understand that there's an oxygen pipeline. If you were to begin with the hydrogen pipeline, encase the entire pipeline in the fuel cell membrane, then put that system that you've created inside of the oxygen pipeline, you've now created a fuel cell that you can create any shape, length of system, including across continents length system, where you can, at oceans, desalinate ocean water with tidal generators, which are impervious to electromagnetic EMP pulses from the atmosphere because of being shielded with salt water. So you have a continuous source, although you have to repair the generators underneath the water eventually. You have a non-ending, forever source of electricity because of the tides. You don't have to change the system by manipulating it through electricity by trying to create fusion. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not necessary. This is what I'm trying to say. You can take a simple system that's already existing, reorient it, redesign it, and, by the way, this puts every single person on the planet to work. Do you understand? You can, because it brings electricity and clean water wherever you put that pipeline. Period. And electricity and clean water also mean food for everyone on the planet. Because you can teach people how to, there's another system that you can add on to this. It's an ancillary system that will, it's so amazing. This is great. That you can show people how to grow aquaponic systems right along this system, right along the hydroelectric system. That it's the, what is it? Hydrogen, oxygen, fuel cell pipeline with an ancillary aquaponic system that uses the water that escapes from, get this, I love this part, because a lot of the physicists will say, well, you can't contain hydrogen. Okay, I don't give a fuck, because I don't want to contain it. When the hydrogen escapes through the tube, the pipeline that we're passing, it's encased with what? With the membrane of the motherfucking fuel cell that creates electricity and creates water. And the water can be drained off of the oxygen tank or the oxygen line down into tanks and can be used. So, this also means that every person on the planet goes to work. Every person on the planet has clean water, clean electricity, clean food, because you can grow food indigenous to the area also, especially the fish and the water. This is what I love about this part, is that in the system, in the aquaponics system, you can grow fish natural to that environment and put them back into their natural system with better water, because you can just drain the water right off. It doesn't matter because it's super fucking clean. And this is another ancillary benefit to the system, is that all of the water that's being removed from the ocean is being cleaned. So we're cleaning the ocean water at the same time. Then we're putting clean water on the planet, all over the planet. And this is another thing too. So we're worried about the glacier melt, right? Water rising in the oceans. Here's how this system can help that. Because if you take the water from the ocean and move it interior to the land masses and put it into systems like aquaponic systems where you're growing carbon-based food that holds the water, you also have water in tanks all over. And I'm not talking lake size, I'm talking like house size stuff, man. But you put that all over the planet in small pockets, not in large lakes. So now you are solving another presented issue. It's going to happen. The water's going to rise. It's going to rise. This is how to solve it. You can bring the water interior to the landmass through this system very easily. This is so easy. By changing the orientation of a fuel cell. That's it. All right, so now you bring the water into the landmass. You can also use this system to power other systems if you really want to, if you actually want to refreeze the polar caps. Because if you bring the water inside the landmass, I wouldn't really want to refreeze the caps, you know? As long as the temperature isn't fucking up every system, if it's not destroying the plants, if it's not that hot on the system, on our planet, then I'm cool with it. But if it starts burning shit, like we can't grow plants, we can't regrow the trees, that's too hot and we have to refreeze the system. But that's pretty easy too, because there's a guy in the Himalayas right now. Right now this dude has a fountain that he pumps water to that freezes a cone of water for a tribe, a little community, so that they can have water during the summertime when it melts. You can use the same idea to put thousands of those. Because who cares about that? Puts somebody to work. Make that for me. Make a pump that freezes water and shoots it there and makes ice in a pile on top of dirt. Take the ocean water at the pole, shoot it at a pile of dirt, and it freezes in a pile. And you can make machines that do that all fucking day long if you really want to do it. But it doesn't matter. You can make it. And it's just, how bad do you really want to do it? Now, here it is, less than 10 minutes that I've been speaking. And based off of the reorientation of a single system, a hydrogen fuel cell, you can cure nearly every problem on the planet right now, other than medical issues. But I can get into that too if you'd like, and I can solve that shit in 3 minutes. Right now I'm at 9:45. I'm going to give till 13. Tell you how to solve bloodborne pathogens right now. 3 minutes. All right, 9:57. Right now I have two friends. One of them works in lasers. One of them works in, he is a virologist. All right. The virologist takes a sample of my blood and determines what bloodborne pathogens I have, cultures all of them. Me. Just me. Just me. Decides what all of them are. Lays them out. There's a way too, because right now there's a CT scan that can track microscopic bacteria and viruses in time, like as they're moving. So, knowing that, I can take my laser friend and say, hey, let's figure out a laser frequency that will break the membrane on the outside of that virus or bacteria. Pretty simple. Without damaging any blood or white blood cells, whatever. But I'm going to show you, I can fix that too. So, you can, and really you don't even need to track afterwards. You don't have to track in the system. You don't have to track the virus or the bacteria, because later on electronics will be able to do that, and you don't have to visually track them. You can do it by electronics, by a radio signal, really. Is that you can just apply the negative radio signal and the laser will track it and just break the membrane. Okay? So what the virologist says is that if I put a virus in the system, because there's another guy, there are people right now that are using nanobots to do this. Nanobots to break the membrane of the virus. Okay? I'm at 1202. So you can take a laser or an electronic signal and break the membrane of the virus in my body. I can hook my blood up to a system like I go to BioLife, and it will take my blood out, put it through a filter, and put my blood back in. And you can do the same thing. You can take my blood out, put it through a system that applies an electronic signal, destroys any bloodborne pathogen within that signal, or within that blood, puts it back into my body. My white blood cells find where that virus or bacteria that now doesn't have an exterior membrane but is exposed, and it says I can attack that and inoculate yourself. I'm now at 1245. Now I just told you how to solve nearly every problem on the planet in 13 minutes. Every bit of that is possible right now with technology that is in your fucking hand right now.